Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone to round 3 of the SDN Racing Tier 1 Championship as we arrive to one of the most creative racing circuits anywhere in the world, this legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit. The season is only just beginning, but we've already had no shortage of drama. Australia produced an incredible last lap corner and Silverstone followed up with an equally controversial conclusion. Sasha crossed the line first, but after that it was Kevin in the closing stages. The stewards handed Sasha a time penalty, and that promoted Kevin to his first victory of the season, converting pole position into maximum points after a race filled with non-stop pressure from start to finish. Let's go on board with some of the drivers there. So Sasha starts their lap time. We've got a few people on the wet compound tyres, but I believe those people will switch over to the Inters considering they could be a little bit of a better tyre. And they'll see. Oh, so Octavia goes quickest on the wet compound tyre, but Sasha is improving by 0.2 of a second there as well. The track continuously soaking up and ramping up too for good measure, and we'll see who will get the best conditions towards the end of qualifying, because usually in these conditions you want to leave it to the last moment when the track is fully at its best. Drivers circulating around here trying to just eke out the grip in these conditions as Hattekas goes top in the Ferrari, and it's nice to see Hattekas back too, because I do believe he has missed a few races and he is back once again. Is the Ferrari driver 2 tenths clear of Octavia in P2. Kevin Soderberg, Fireblaze are missing too because they are on holiday, and Happy Meal too is on holiday as well, so I do believe they have gone away, and I wish them the greatest time wherever they are on holiday. I don't know where Kevin is, but I think Happy Meal is in Monaco. Sasha 1.5 seconds up. This man is clearly finding confidence in these extreme conditions, and yet finding more lap time as the lap goes on in these soaked conditions. Remember 2024, was it? In the sprint quali when we had the wet conditions? I can't exactly remember which one it is, because I get confused. But yes, these wet conditions certainly are challenging, and drivers having to find their feet very quickly as Sasha goes wide towards the bottom chicane, but nonetheless we lose like a tenth or two. Olai goes towards the top, but that'll be short-lived because here comes Sasha, and Sasha blitzes it out of the ballpark here, and he's 1.2 seconds up on Olai in P2. So great job to him indeed. There is 5 minutes left to go in this session. Octavia is still on the wet compound tyres. I don't know why. He should consider switching over to the Inters because they are probably the better tyre at this stage. But I think this is the other track in these conditions where we see the 2-minute mark, isn't it? As we see Max then coming towards the slow speed corner. And let's see how he does in this middle sector. It's going to be a 27.1, so 1.1 seconds up in this middle sector. But find more time in the last sector to try and beat ILT Sasha in first place. Stefan, his Dutch teammate, goes second place, and he's fully a second off as well. So that's a massive margin here in Spa. And Spa, 7 kilometers long indeed, a very long circuit. Guy in the Alpine, or Williams, sorry, goes P2 with a 58.894, and Max then treads through the final few corners. Massive wheel spin, and we'll see where Max can go. Max goes up into P3 with a 59.345 and 4 tenths clear of Stefan then. So we're coming towards the dire stages of qualifying. Who can dethrone Sasha, or is it going to be Sasha to be the one on provisional pole position? Jens almost lost it at the top of the hill there. Towards Ravage he went and luckily saved the car. I think it is Lacombe. This is Ravage, and through the left-hander is No Name. But unofficially, Jackie X through these corners. This can be a tricky corner indeed because you're flicking the car in high speed and trying to get the power as quick as you can, especially conditions. I think in the rain it's a nothing. I mean, in the dry it's a nothing. But look at that, Jens fighting and squirming away with the car. They're just wrestling, trying to keep it on the racetrack. But it seems like he's just trying to push the limits as much as he can. David goes P5. Now Sam Hugaboom goes P3, the man that won the sprint race at the British GP, and I believe he tumbled down the order in the feature race. It wasn't a great feature race, was it, for Sam? I'm not quite sure what happened to him. Was it contact in the first opening laps of the race, which ultimately led to him falling down the order? But given this is a long circuit, you can ill afford to make any mistakes. You've got to keep it on the black stuff as well. Out laps here would be like over 2 minutes long as well, so going to do about 3-4 laps, but obviously these guys doing multiple runs of the Inters. They fueled the car up more than for 1 lap or 2, obviously, in these conditions, because the tread doesn't heat up as much as the soft compound tyres. In a full lap, the soft compound tyres do overheat as they continuously do lap times. That's why we don't see many people doing many lap times continuously on the same set of soft compound tyres, plus the fuel burns down too for good measure, and the soft compound tyres peak performance is 1 or 2 laps. Gee, round the final corner, takes a very high line through there to get on the power, but I don't think it's not an improvement, so he's going for another push lap, it seems, on these inters. As Pink Panther in the race ball, he has been looking competitive so far. But, Max now dethrones Sasha. Sasha is in the pit lane, which means he's only got 1 lap in store. And we'll see if that counts. Lucas now goes quickest with a 58.432 in the Williams. Kick is not here. He's still on holiday. Hopefully the Dutchman is having a mega time. But Lucas has set on a new set of the intermediate compound tyres and has gone quickest overall indeed. Pink Panther will ride on board with him to see how he does coming towards the Puan section. In the dry, it is fully flat out. But obviously in these conditions, I'm not quite sure if you can take it flat out or not. But Leonard is on provisional pole position. A man who has struggled as well. And he's been there in pace, but not consistency. He just can't seem to string it all together as David now goes second place there. And Sasha has only got 1 lap in the tank to try and take pole. While other people may have timed it right and could be on course for a great result. Pink Panther in that middle sector was up by 7/10 of a second, so we'll continue on board with his progress as we now make our way now towards this famous Blanchimont corner. Unfortunately, has to downshift in 7th gear there. They lost some speed through the corner as we now make our way down towards this bus of chicane. This can be very tricky indeed. Slow the car down, hit the apexes nice and clean, and gradually pick up the throttle there. Massive wheel spin, but that's good enough. That's okay. It's P6 from P6 for Pink Panther. I was about to say Max, but I got confused there. Max, however, is improving, but slightly in the middle sector, so needs to find a bit more time to try and secure his way up towards the pecking order. But it's an Aston Martin first place, Cadillac second place. Aston Martin and Cadillac usually at the back of the field, but here jubilated so far and doing a really solid result indeed. Now Guy goes quickest, 6 laps on his inters, so these inters never seem to wear out, do they? But here comes Max then treading his way towards the final corner on this racetrack, and he goes P4 in the racing ball, slots it behind Sam, but Sam is on a flying lap here. There he is in the Cadillac behind the Red Bull. So that could be an issue because if the Red Bull makes a mistake, he's guaranteed to follow suit and hit the back of him. So he best hope the McLaren or Red Bull in front of us does not make a mistake. He's getting too close for comfort as Sam Hookerboom is 3/10 up in this middle sector. But luckily for him, a sigh of relief. The Red Bull driver does get out of his way and he could continuously go on with his lap without any sort of disruptions or interruptions. And Octavia, he's been looking very strong in this qualifying session. Beats Guy by 300ths of a second. Here we are on board with Sam towards the final corner on this racetrack. Fights in the car like an octopus, squirms by the corner and goes P5 or stays P5. And he does improve by 2/10, but not his position. So every single driver out there completing their final runs. Nick is down at P16. He has not set a flying lap, so he's been struggling in this qualifying session. You've seen him out there, but unfortunately just could not piece the puzzles together and try and get a competitive lap time at 27.7 in the 4-1 in the middle set. I'm not quite sure if that's good or not, but Nick's laps has to count. It will defy his position from starting P16 or wherever inside the top 10 if he can make it there. As Pink Panther the first across the line to conclude this qualifying session, it's P5 with a 57.682, so that's his best efforts in qualifying. Would that be enough though? Will others behind him improve? Stefan has retired, so he will start down P8 minimum as Nick slides by the final corner, goes P13 in the Audi, so yeah, we'll not be happy with that. But who should we go on board with? So Octavia, the pole sitter, the provisional pole sitter. The man that finished P7 is 2/10 down, by the way, in the first sector. He finished P7 for his best result. And Hart and Cass now goes on to provisional pole position. One by one, they make their way towards the line. And Lucas snatched it back by under 1/10 of a second. Leonard has retired. He's crashed out in the final chicane where Lewis Hamilton crashed back in 2019. I'm intrigued where Sasha is. Sasha is probably coming towards Blanchimont right now, according to the minimap. But Octavia, however, what can he do? the outlier, the man that struggled recently, the man that gets knocked out in Q1, slides his way at the final corner. Can he take pole? The answer is no. Lost loads of time in the final sector, but Sasha, where is he? Sasha coming towards line now, and it is pole with a 55.612, because Sam Hugaboom taken away. No, he can't, but he joins Sasha on the front row in P2 there. So well done to those two men, as David, the last one to cross the line, but he will not improve as he's just in relative. So what an incredible session that was. It was yo-yoing, not the yo-yoing we expect in the race, but literally yo-yo, as we see the guys there just fluctuate in terms of position. And that will seal the deal in qualifying. Hopefully Milan Langer joins the session, because I do miss him. So this is the result. Sasha on pole position by 0.6 of a second. Lucas further back in P3, 7/10 at a Hatakas. Octavia through one of his best qualified performances we've seen for a long time. Guy P6 ahead of Leonard. Pink Panther, Online, Max, David, TV Chanel, Jens, Mummy Nick, and Newt in P16 there. But in the end, it was Sasha who prevails, and Sasha who's the one that took pole with only one lap time, by the way, because he just came out the pit lane, didn't he? And did one lap on a brand new set of Inter tyres. And that's astonishing indeed, because the pressure is sky high. Last week at the British GP, it was Kevin who won that time penalty removal ahead of Sasha, who got a time penalty. Christian P3 to pick up his first podium since Australia last season. Sam was P4 despite a difficult race. Lucas P5 ahead of Eric in the Red Bull. Octavia for P7 ahead of Miles Makis. Miles Makis has gone AWOL. Nobody knows where he is, so I really hope he's okay. I think he's crumbling from the stress of the pressure of running a league and not being adjusted to this game. So I think those two combinations, I think he's just losing faith in the game and his league, and ultimately just struggling and just wants to disappear for a while. So I do believe he's okay, just probably stepped away from the F1 scene for a while. But running a league at a young age is so stressful. It doesn't matter if you fail to run a league, because you can still race at other leagues as well. And running a league at a young age, you're bound to have some issues, aren't you? Really, realistically. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lives. And the race in Belgium is go. We are underway for the Belgian Grand Prix as we make the mad dash down towards turn 1. We can see the Cadillac trying to go around the outside, but there's almost contact. But luckily, these guys are ghosted. If they wasn't ghosted, somebody would have been in a spin. Oh, somebody is in a spin. Pink Panther, unfortunately, trigger happy on the throttle, has fallen down into P15. But there's a whole bunch of cars ready to attack Sasha. As Octavia's P2, the Cadillacs are P2 and P3. Can Octavia take the lead of the race? Here he comes, then pulls out alongside Sasha as we make our way down towards the Camel Straight, towards the Con we go. He has the inside line. Can he get past him towards turn 1? Where is he? Not quite, but Sasha holds the outside line and he remains in the lead there. Great defence despite under massive pressure down the Camel Straight, with all the guys getting the slipstream and the battery too. But Sasha holds his own there and not challenged going down into the Con then. So great first lap there for Sasha. But Octavia, wow, he's a different breed, isn't he? He's come alive recently, hasn't he? That P7 finish must have boosted his momentum. And Sasha still leads, but by 1/10 of a second in front of Octavia. So it is Octavia, Sasha, Octavia, Sam, Lucas, Katakas, Max, David, Lennon, Olai, Savan, Newt, Guy. Guy has lost a whole bunch of places too, so I wonder what happened to him. Fall down to P12, so lost 6 places there in the process. That first lap was volatile indeed, but we move on now As we see Octavia pouncing, he's gained 3 places there. What a mega star! And he's about to take the lead. And here comes the other We're going 3 wide. Sasha is in the middle there. Can we make it out unscathed? Yes, we can. Octavia moves up into the lead ahead of Sasha. Sam right behind, ready to pounce on the inside of the Hash driver. The Hash driver, though, maintains the outside line, converts to the inside, and stays in P2, though. So Octavia aggressive. Octavia is in the lead of the race. And here comes the racing bull down the inside of the Williams. That is Max on Lucas in turn 1. Can he take the place away? They're going side by side here. They can be very brave if they make it out unscathed through Eau Rouge and Radio. We go. They're going in battle. We're going side by side through here. Can we make it out? Let's have a look. Yes, they can. Brilliant wheel to be racing between those two there. But now up the hill we go. Sasha's coming back. And here comes the other Cadillac of Sam. So Octavia's been pushed from first to third as Sasha leads this race ahead of Sam Hugaboom. Octavia, we've seen them many times, the yo-yoing around. We pass every single time in this race as well because of the battery system. It's completely different. Some people may use boost in different parts of the racetrack and some others, well, they may try and save it ready for later on. So it's all about battery management, how you use it. And obviously a lot of people has got different philosophies and different ideologies on how to use the battery too. Some people like to use it in the first part, maybe some people like to save it, who knows. But LICO is very essential as well for this game. Lifting and coasting is absolute necessary for this game. You can't abuse. Unfortunately, you can't use a lot of battery in the first part because otherwise you get swallowed up and beaten down the straights as well. You'll be vulnerable like a sitting duck. So Sasha still leads. Sam following right behind, but Sam may pounce on Sasha. And we've seen some overtakes in uncommon places like this. Blanchimon side by side now between these two. And they're tossing it out for first place. And behind us, Lucas is getting involved too on the action. Now we're going 3 abreast again. That's Lucas on the outside. Oh my goodness me. In the breakers and there's contact. Contact was bound to be made. And Lucas is sent into a spin there. 3-1, as they say, will never go. And that is the evidence of that as well. Lucas stumbled down into P6, but still in this DRS range. Not DRS range, my bad. In this slipstream. Oh, the Ferrari there, getting all tail happy out of the first corner. That's Hattekas there, lost the back end of the car, but still keeps it pointing in the right direction. Max up into P5 due to the expense of Lucas now. Up towards Eau Rouge Radio we go again. And Sasha this time will have the overtake handed towards him, and we'll see. Look at Sasha's battery as well, down to 0%. And the Ferrari there getting swallowed up. And here comes Sasha, that despite no battery, is still going side by side with Octavia, not Octavia, Sam. And he puts himself up into first place. Wow. What a first few laps of the race that was as well. Frenetic opening laps of this race, as you expect with this battery system, even though the people behind us are on medium compound tyres, that still doesn't have an advantage either. Yobo in the train going home for vacation right now, says Happy Meal. So Happy Meal, hopefully you enjoyed your vacation as Guy is dropping down the order, down to 30th place. What's happened to him? Did he spin somewhere? I'm not quite sure. But unfortunately for him, his race from going bad to worse, started up inside the top 10 and now relegated down into P13. But he's about to mount an attack in the final chicane. And that was a sensational move indeed there for Guy, who was trying to make up for some lost ground. It is absolutely hot in here. I'm sweating as well in this race. That's Octavia looking racing on these big compound tyres. I'm surprised both Cadillacs are not working together, but it's quite hard to work together, you know. It's hard to keep somebody behind because somebody will try and use the battery overtake as well. It's not like the F1 2025 game where you can work together as a team and keep the guys boxed in. Look at this battle going down towards the Boston chicane. We go again. That's the Williams there. Around the outside, has a lock up on the outside too. And now he takes away 4th place. But Max around the outside again. Let's go. And nice exit there for Max. He's up into P4 ahead of Lucas. And the lead has changed hands once again. But Lucas back down the inside as we see the top 2 in battle again. Sasha taking away 1st place. And Octavia side by side with his teammate, but backs off there. I wonder, will Sasha get swallowed up on the straight once again as we make the climb towards Eau Rouge and Radion? I'll tell you what though, even though this game is quite controversial and not many people like it still provides some entertainment action. Here comes the Cadillac and here comes the other one, but he's boxed in. No way you're going to make it 3 abreast. Be smart about this. Back off. And he does back off. And Sasha still maintains the lead of the race. Lucas on the outside into Lacombe. Has the inside line there. Almost went off the track. And once again, Lucas up into P4. These guys scrambling and jostling for position even though it's lap 4. Usually lap 1 we see this. And Hattekas up the inside there into before we go. side by side with the Red Bull driver. David trying to maintain his line, but Khatagaz swoops around the outside to get P6, and now Leonard is coming, and he's on the inside, and he takes, no he doesn't, not yet, because David's still there. He just squeezed him out there on the outside, gave him the cold shoulder, and pushed him into P8. Wow, what a battle. Oh my goodness me. Newt has retired in no name, but I don't think a safety car will be deployed at this stage in the race. So panic over for the half runners. If the safety car came up for the half runners, I think that'd be devastating because the time to pit is not yet. Mini compound tyres can't go towards the end of this race. And here we go once again on board with Sam in the wheel tracks of Sasha, but this time choosing not to overtake. These guys have been pouncing so aggressive indeed. I think some guys have learned to stay back. Look at Lucas taking on both Cadillacs now as we go down towards the Buster chicane. One Cadillac done. What about the other one? Down the inside, in towards the final corner. Can he get the better exit? Can he get the traction out of the final corner? The answer is no. And Sam Hugaboom maintains his place. Will Octavia try and claim back third place? He doesn't. Stays behind the Williams driver going down towards Tier 1 there. Pink Panther in the background has somehow set the fast up to the Grand Prix. It tells you how these guys are slowing down as well. They're really on each other up. P1 down to P10, all in one big train. The Aston Martin duo are in battle once again. And here comes Sam Hugaboom side by side with Sasha as they go down towards the Lacombe chicane we go. No, Sasha just braving the brakes there and ekes it out and goes or stays first place again. So great defense there from Sasha. He really loves maintaining the outside line. He carries more speed, more momentum, and stays in front of Sam Hugaboom. Great. You know what? Being a solo commentator is quite hard because you've got to constantly talk and think about things as well. So on the first lap, Sasha, great defense there as well. I don't think he used his battery until Rouge Radio deployed it and kept ahead and maintained first place. Usually, we see people get swallowed up in the slipstream, like Sebastian Vettel on Lewis Hamilton back in 2017. Nope, 18 and 19, sorry. Oscar Piastri on his own teammate Lando Norris in recent years too, in the wet conditions. And we saw Antonelli overtake Verstappen as he deployed his boost battery 2 out of Rouge Radion to get back first place. Right, Lucas is behind Sam. We've only got about 3 medium runners in this race, and judging by what JSR told us, the hard to medium strategy is better. We saw Kevin thrive and also Ivan too thrive of this strategy, and now we're headed down in towards the Buster chicane. Lucas moves himself up into P2. Great drive from Lucas there, great resurgence. I know we got shuffled backwards in the first opening segment of this race, but he's back there in P2 where he started, I believe it is. Nope, he started P3, so he's back up into P2. Do you know what? Saltavia is doing a mega job in P4. Full credit to him. I know it's only lap 6. There's still things to come. But where has this pace come from? How has he managed to get this pace? Is somebody racing his account like Fireblaze? Is this Fireblaze? No, I'm only joking. I don't want to discredit there. Saltavia. But he's doing a monumental job in 4th place there. And I love to see this type of drive from Saltavia. It's really nice to see people you don't expect to be up there. People like, let's say, TVHNL, who usually struggles, and he's at the back of the field of P14. Now we see these two in battle, and Max there just maintaining his line. This is a great scrap, by the way. Good sportsmanship and respect. I don't want to jinx it too early because you know what happens in an SDN race. Something is bound to happen and kick off in the latter stages of this race, but it's been a frenetic opening laps of this race, and great action all the way through the field there. Many changes of the lead. I think it's Octavia and Sasha has been in the lead a couple of times as well. I think those 3 have been the leaders, but Lucas might take on Sasha. And Lucas and Sasha, we know, were in a battle for first place back in the Australian Grand Prix. Lucas was in no man's land. He was the outlier at the British GP. Pitted too early, and as a result, his intermediate compound tyre shredded. Because when you pit too early in the wet conditions, your tyres overheat, and you wear them out more as well for good measure, and that's why he fell backwards and Hamilton took a podium away from him. And Lucas is about to attack Sasha. Here we go, they do Bloodsheep on Sasha. Wow, trying to maintain his line around the outside there, and Bloodsheep on we go. And now Lucas moves up into P1 for the lead of the race, while Sasha just settles into P2. If it was F125, we see everybody in a big DRS train, and only the top 2 can make a move in a race as well, because it's so, on this new segment of the game, it's so easier to overtake, I must say, because people deploy batteries in different places like the boost mode as well, and that's where people get caught off guard. It's not proper. I don't know how to describe this, to be honest with you. It's great for the viewers, but You know, this Mickey Mouse and yoing around every time is not that great. But Sasha now side by side with Lucas as we now head up towards the couple straight we go. Sasha moves up into first place ahead of Lucas, and Khatakas is up into P4 ahead of the Cadillac of Octavia. I wonder if Octavia is starting to come to the end of his stint on the Mini Power Ties. Lap 7 out of 22, and both McLarens are the race. What a shame for those two indeed. So we have lost the two McLaren boys, 15th and 16th. Jens and Newt have had enough now, and we're down to 14 with TVH&L at the rear of the field, and Sasha running the front of the field, but under immense pressure throughout the whole race indeed. I can't fathom how stressful it must be to be in this position. You know, I haven't really raced on this game, or DLC I must say, so I wonder how these guys are starting to cope with the pressure and stress, knowing when to deploy and overtake. Because if I got shuffled back down 3 places into P4, I'd be so frustrated at trying to get back at them. You know, you constantly have to adjust, think on your feet at all times in a race. You can't afford to lay back and sit back and chill, because everything just kicks off at once and things keep changing in a race. It's not like 25 where you could just sit in the DRS train and chill there until you can definitely make an overtake on the guy ahead of you. But now these two wheel to wheel again, but Sasha a bit on the brakes. Then what happened to Lucas? It seems like he didn't get squeezed out, but it just seems like he just lost just outbroke himself a little bit there too. Lap 8 out of 22 then. The hard runners will go for a longer stint to try and prolong their stint in hardcore power tyres to switch over to the better medium rubber later on in the race too, to have the grip towards the end. I did question if Sasha was going to go from the hard to medium. The answer has been questioned. The question has been answered, as we now make our way towards Eau Rouge, Radion, and now the Camel Straight. Olai has got past Octavia, so Octavia is starting to lose his mojo, but his performance a little bit too. It's been on the mini quad power tyres at this stage is not the advantage. The hardcore power tyres are probably better now, and therefore Octavia is just starting to fall by the wayside here, and maybe thinking about a pit stop to get rid of those mini quad power tyres. He's been into P7. He did lead a race, but unfortunately for him, those juice the mini quad power tyres has fully dissipated, and I'm pretty sure a pit stop will be imminent soon for the man in P7 who was doing a mega job. But of course, I think the crossover point between the mediums and hards are starting to happen. We have a really great battle brewing up for first and second place here. It's the same top two as it was back at the Australia Grand Prix, and it was Sasha who just beat Lucas on the line there by fractions of a second. You know, Sasha has been very aggressive, very, very methodical and calculated, and just been a different caliber of a driver to the previous Sashas we've seen in the past few seasons in league racing. He has really, really improved in JSR and SDN and PSGL. Started P14 in PSGL and finished P3rd. But the battle is not overdone just yet here between the leaders. Sam Hugaboom just sitting patient in P3. Khatakas, doing a really good job in P4. The man who won, I think, was it the Belgian Grand Prix a couple of seasons ago? When was Khatakas' last win? Was it the Spanish Grand Prix? Couldn't have been a long time ago, surely. I don't think he claimed a win last season, did Khatakas. I haven't checked the stats because I just came in, literally just came to the door. And the first thing I did, got changed, and now I'm commentating for SDN, so I didn't really get a chance to look at the stats. But I don't think that Khatakas won a race last season. If he did, I'm sorry to discredit him on that one, as Sasha there still maintains the lead, but he's vulnerable in P1. He has no overtake to his name. Lucas there now just playing a long-term game in P2, keeping Sasha in front of him, using the slipstream and boost behind him too, just to maintain his position and play the long-term game as we usually know. These guys are very clever at it indeed, knowing when to pounce, knowing when to attack, use the battery too. Khatakas did score a podium back in Abu Dhabi in season 5, I believe it was. 6, sorry. It was season 6. My bad on that one. But it has been a long time since we've seen Khatakas win a race. Well, he did become the champion of JSR last season in that league. He's had a couple of P2s as well in season 5. The Belgian Grand Prix was won by Kevin. Yes, Khatakas did finish on the podium in P3 a couple of seasons ago in SDN. So he has accumulated a few podiums around here at the Belgian Grand Prix, which is nice to always have in your locker. A good start indeed. Things are starting to settle down now, And as I say that, Lucas is about to take on Sasha once again for the lead. He now puts himself into first place ahead of the Haasman as we make our way now towards the Bristol chicane. Sasha's been demoted down to P2. I think Lucas was just saving battery. It's so easy. And finally, the medium runners are pitted. They gave the Ghost mini compound tyres. It's about time those two are pitted there to get rid of the mini compound tyres, to put on a new set of hard compound tyres, and hoping to try and do a massive undercut on these guys before they switch over to the better medium compound tyre. So these laps on the hard compound tyres for these people who have just pitted are going to be very crucial indeed to divide their race. And we'll see Lucas and Sasha trade places once again. We're going wheel to wheel, and Sasha just ekes out in front of the Williams driver, puts himself back into first place. Sam Hugaboom is under massive threat from Jens right behind him. I think Jens has been on holiday too, or vacation as you guys like to say, as we see the Ferrari, I was about to say Hatzicas, the Ferrari down the inside there, squeezing his way past. Can he find an opening? Can he get ahead? No. Sam has the bases covered, plants the car in the middle of the road and prevents the overtake from happening and keeps Hatzicas in his place in fourth place. I tell you another driver who's doing a really good job so far. It's the man in P5, Ollie in P5, doing a sensational job so far. Things are starting to spread out a bit. Now we've got a few trains deforming and broken up. So the top six now in their little gaggle of cars just fight each other for the lead of the Grand Prix. It's one Haas in front and the other Haas behind, leading this train. Other guys there in the filling of a sandwich, in a Haas sandwich. Is Sam about to aggress on Lucas there? In Blodgem on we go. Let's see if he opens up the... obviously he will, but the battery and me going down towards the Bristol chicane. DRS as well is enabled on that particular part of the track in F2. I didn't realise it, but you can open up DRS there. It gives you a slight advantage as well. So 3 DRS zones around in Belgium for F2. It's not much effective gauge, about a tenth, maybe a 2, maybe less than that, but it does give you a little bit of advantage to try and eke yourself forward. Remember that F2 race as well? It was a great race. Was it Roman Stenich who won the race? Apologies, well, I don't know why I'm saying sorry because he will not watch the stream, but I think it was him who won the F2 race there, and he was under massive pressure through the whole race too. There is the Orange Army in the grandstands there, but of course, the Orange Army will be supporting all these drivers because I'm pretty sure vast majority of people here are Dutch, if I'm not mistaken. Apologies to anyone in this train who is not Dutch. Where's Guy from? No flag there, so I don't know where he's from. I think could he be Dutch? I'm not quite sure. We're halfway into this race. What an eventful race it was in the first opening meters of the Grand Prix. But now things start to settle down. What's the gap between 1st to 11th? That's what we're looking for, because let's see where the guys who are pit on the hard compound tyres feed in. It's Octavia and Max. This is critical laps for both of them indeed, to try and leapfrog and build up a gap over the guys who are eventually going to switch over to the mini compound tyres. So 21 points. Oh, Octavia there has been playing with fire, and unfortunately got burnt, and he's picked up a 3-second penalty. Easily done indeed. He created his own track limits, unfortunately, and that's going to unfortunately unravel his race, I must say, as Guy and Nick are fighting. Nick has also got a penalty. Pink Panthers too has got a penalty. Pink Panther, who spun, I think, in the first lap of the race on lap 1, turn 1, is P10, so he's made his way back up to the field, but a safety car ideally will bring him back fully in this race, or the damage has been undone in the first corner. Max ahead of Octavia. Remember, these two on a new set of hard compound tyres, so I think it's best if these two just trade places, not fight too hard. It's unwise, uncanny to go side by side through these corners, because if they do that, they just cost themselves their own race. So it might as well just work together and build up much of a gap as well. Objectively, they're trying to get as much time on these guys who are going to mini compound tyres, and Mum and Nick is ahead of Guy. There is 10 laps left to go. It's a short race distance because it's it's 7 kilometres long, and it's one of the shortest lap counter. 22 laps only at this Belgian Grand Prix. Could rain hit the circuit? We are seeing the clouds start to gather around here, so we could primarily see some rain arriving soon, if that's an option there. The clouds, you know what the Arden Forest always gathered in. Belgium is known for its rain as well. The unpredictability of the weather can certainly play a massive effect in the race and really galvanise and spice things up too. So that could be something to watch out for. Maybe it's just a theory, make it up, who knows. I don't have all the information in front of me, you know. As a commentator, you usually have all the information in front of you, but I don't have the weather radar or the tyre wear in front of me. But these guys are just playing a long game now, you know, just settle into a rhythm and not continuously squabbling over first, second place there, just keeping each other in tabs, but obviously not go for moves. Oh, I thought for 1 second that Lucas might appear, but Sasha just broke himself in turn 1 there. Not turn 1, the last corner, sorry, the Buster chicane. So, easily done, of course. You're arriving at a high speed there. It's very important to go for all the speed through the Buster chicane as it leads onto the main straight as well. And it's very important, too, to get a good run out of turn 1, as the guys behind will be in the wheel tracks and in the station with you, too. What will Sam do in P3? He's looking very racy. Will he decide to overtake? And Lucas then may be forced into an overtake because Sam Hookaboom is pressurised. So here comes Lucas then, and here comes Sam. Will he go through? But look at Sasha. Still maintains the lead. This is incredible. I'm not quite sure how he's doing it. Incredible defence thrown once again from Sasha, who's keeping the guys behind him in second and third place. And I wonder which one of these guys later on in this race, how long do you want to leave it out there in the hardcore power tyres? What's the best distance to take them? So, do you know what? Max and Octavia are not really eating into the advantage of the guys on the hardcore power tyres. They're only taking fractions out each lap, bit by bit. This is not good for those two down in P11 and P20. P11 and P12, sorry. So, who's gone for a spin down in No Name? That is Pink Panther. And his teammate Enzo Max will go through. It's very wise to let him go, because if he didn't, Octavia there is not going to be happy about this. He wants to get past him immediately. When he goes through on the racing ball, he does, but the racing ball is trying to fight back around the outside, but he can't make that happen. And here comes Lucas then side by side with Sasha going through Blanchimon, now down towards the Buster chicane, but Sasha is just holding his line there. If the rain does come, these guys on the hardcore power tyres will be looking very smart because they can avoid the second stop. We make our way out of turn 1 again. There is 6 or 8 laps left to go in this race, and these guys at the front of the pecking order have not pitted just yet, but pit stops will be imminent very, very soon in this race. As Lucas tucked in right behind Sasha. But here we go once again. Lucas takes the lead. And what about Sam? Here comes Sam. He pounced on Sasha. And this time, will he take away P2? And Sasha fights it back immediately and stays behind in P2. You know what? Sasha's really, really clever in P2, just keeping the guys at bay and knowing when and where to use his battery in the right place at the right time. He doesn't use all of his sweets in one go. He saves them. He's being very methodical in terms of saving that battery and not using it all in one go to keep his chances high of potentially winning this race. And Sasha does win this race with 2 wins out of 3. Remember, he lost the British GP due to a time penalty. How costly is going to that? How much is that going to defy his season, I wonder? And we see there, this is not the battle Octavia wants, you know. Pink Panther has repassed Octavia. This is really hurting and destroying his strategy and limiting his chances of trying to fight the big guys at the top of the pecking order. This is not good for Octavia. He's stuck behind the racing ball. This has completely destroyed his race here. Oh, is that rain? Yes, it's rain. Ladies and gentlemen, rain has arrived on the circuit, so starting on the hardcore power tyres was the wise thing to do. These guys will not pit just yet. They can't pit because it'll be too dry for the wet core power tyres. Maybe 2 or 3 laps before we see these guys pit. It'll be very unwise to pit right now. It'll be a blunder if these guys pitted. But Max and Octavia, what a shame for them. David as well and Tim obviously haven't predicted the weather right. And as Murray Walker would say, be on the right side at the right time, and these guys are. Ever since Lucas muscled his way up into P2, him and Sasha have just been extremely places all day long, all race long, I must say. And Sam in P3 unable to capitalise and overtake Mummy Nick and Pig Pad that are in the pit lane already. That could be a little bit early, you know. The track does take some time to rub it in, or should I say soak in, I must say. Opposite way around, of course. Sasha's ghosted. Oh my goodness me, I thought he disconnected. You know, when someone ghosts, they tend to disconnect. And Lucas on the attack in the final chicane, like Senna and Mazda was back all those years ago. I can't pinpoint exactly what year it was. I did remember, but you know, I forgot about it. But they definitely had a great battle down towards the final chicane. Those two legends of F1, Mazda, champion of F1, and Ayrton Senna as well, legends of the sport. And Sam Hugaboom, once again, right behind the Williams driver, coming through Blanchimont at high speed, all the way through, down towards the Buster chicane. And they all just stay behind each other. And look at Hartakass on the outside there. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. And in the pit lane comes Sasha, so he's the first to blink in this order. So is that the right call? Will Stefan look very smart? Or is that a blunder there for Sasha? Who knows? The track doesn't look wet enough just yet for the intermediate compound tyres. So that could be a little bit early than expected here at Belgium. But if it does start to rain harder, he could look very smart indeed. And here comes Lucas right on the back of Sasha with the overtake available. But he stays behind the Haasman. Is it a wise thing for Lucas to overtake Sasha now at this point? Because we know it can be a little bit difficult overtaking in the rain conditions. You don't have the active aero, you don't have the battery, it's stuck on medium. So, should Lucas just consider overtaking Sasha and being in a comfortable place in first place? But he opts to stay behind him at this point in time then. So Sasha still occupies that first place as he has done for the last few laps. So Lucas on his tail with Sam Hugaboom, Olai and Hartakass in P4, P5. Let's have a look at the gap to leader. Well, Stefan in P9 is starting to eke in on the guys in front. So he's getting a little bit of time here and there, losing fractions now and then. It's just on the periphery of being the right tyre, I suppose. I think the hardcore power tyres is still a good option, but could Stefan's tyres be overheating at this stage in the race? Here we go then down towards the chicane we go once again. Will these guys pit on this lap? Yes, they pit. Into the pit lane comes the four of them, but Hartakass braves it out and stays out there for one more lap. He's the sole remaining Ferrari in this race. Is that the right call for Hartakass to stay out there for one more lap? As all these guys will transfer over to the Inters. Remember, the hardcore power tyres have been a long way as well, so some of these guys could be in punchy territory. But watch out for one man. Where is he? He's down in P9. Here he is then, on towards the first corner we go. Does Stefan take the net lead of this race? No, he does not. Wow. So he's dropped into 8th place, even Olai got in front of him. So he was last in this DRS train, and once again he's last. That strategy has not worked out to perfection here, unfortunately, for Stefan. The bad news is he's on the intermediate compound tyres that's done up a few laps as well, which means a little bit of tyre wear could be implemented too. So unfortunately, the track still looks dry, you know. I know it's getting wetter and wetter, but it's on the absolute edge, isn't it? Like, on tyres. And Sasha and Guy, that's an easy move there for Sasha, puts himself into P2. The gap's come to 50.2 now. Hartakass staying out there for one more lap. They'll see if that's the right call or not. Probably in the low speed corners where Sasha will gain, but Hartakass's tyres are destroyed, I believe, on the hardcore power tyres. You have no grip at all on a track where it's slippery and you're on old aged tyres. It must be a horrible feeling. But the gap extended now between first and second place. A safety car will do wonders for him indeed. A Williams there in P2 or P3, I must say. That's why is Guy not letting Lucas go? This is not a smart decision for both of these drivers. There we go, finally. So Lucas hopefully let's go back. This is not smart from Guy He needs to let Lucas go. I don't know what he's doing. Come on, you're in completely different races, and you're ruining Lucas' chances of winning the Grand Prix. Hello, Shorts. Uchatet. Uwishadach. Oh, and Guy is finally in the pit lane. So I dare say that's a bit unnecessary there, as Hatkas is on a new set of medium compound tyres. Did he forget to change it to the Inters? Wow, that could have completely destroyed his race. Does he know something we don't? Wow, this is unbelievable. Hatkas is on the mini compound tyres. He rejoins down in P6. I'm not quite sure if that's... here's the thing, right? Some people forget to change it from inters to mediums. Oh, Hatkas there making his way past Stefan, and here he comes on the Aston. Wow, 2 places in one go there. If it stays like this, if it doesn't get any wetter, maybe he has a chance. But I'm not sure, you know. He still looks very quick at this stage. New mini compound tyres against inters on this unknown surface. It can be very interesting towards the end. 4 laps left to go in this race. Wow. So I'm not quite sure if he made the wrong choice or not. Maybe he forgot to change the inters. Hopefully he didn't. He's smarter than this. But even if he did forget, he still went to hard to medium. So he still had to change it to mini compound tyres. You know what? He's still getting time. Here he comes for P3. He's up into P3 now. He best hope the track don't get wetter and wetter, because if it does, then he'll be in the wrong tyre at the wrong time and be falling backwards like a stone. And his race, his fantastic race he's brewed up so far, will be completely unravelled by the fact he went to mini compound tyres. It's still sunny in some certain parts of the track. Do you know what? I'd be looking like a hero right now if it stopped raining. Imagine that. It's Octavia and David. Where is he going? Where's he gone? Oh my goodness me! He went for a massive crash there at the exit of Stavlo, and that is on the hard compound tyres there as well. So indicating that the dry compound tyres, the slicks as they're known, may be now starting to struggle in effect. And look at that, Hatkas losing even more time. Lucas, though, is on the par once again as we see Hatkas down towards turn 1. So why did Hatkas think it was a smart decision to go on the mini compound tyres? I think he's smarter than this. And here comes Sam, and here comes Olai. Brave move there, up to P4. And it'll be a sinking feeling there for Hatkas as he gets pushed backwards and backwards on his mediums. And here comes Stefan too for good measure. Let's see if he overtakes him. He does. So just like Australia, we just left these two to decide who will win the Belgian Grand Prix. What a blunder for Hatkas in P6. He could at least got a podium in this race, but he chose mini compound tyres as TVH&L has retired in the pit lane, so we lost another companion in this race. And look at that. That pretty much signifies that the race is now deemed as wet. The facilities of the straight mode is disactivated, so drivers behind will not get the advantage of opening up that gap in the rear wing and drive past. Also, the battery 2 has been deplenished. They will not get the battery either. So in these wet conditions, the battery is easy to see because it really nullifies the fact that the overtake has gone. So we're back to conditions where the battery will not be a problem in the race. Drivers will easily save the battery because they're not on the throttle all the time, are they? So they can save some battery up, but they can't use boost down the streets. That's the problem. So, Olai has picked up a 3-second time penalty. That pretty much rules out now of his podium chances. He will not get a podium, unfortunately, here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Olai versus Sam. The battle for the final spot on the podium. But Sam now has the advantage of not having a 3-second penalty in this race. So first and second place, the battle we've been waiting for, Sasha versus Lucas once again. These two already gave us one of the finishes of the season back in Australia, where Sasha snatched the position on the final corner, and now they're fighting once again, only this time for victory around one of the most demanding circuits in the world and in soaking wet conditions. Lucas has stayed glued to the back of Sasha all race long. He knows opportunities are rare in these conditions, but if Sasha puts just one wheel in the wrong place, Lucas will be there to capitalise, but Lucas is dropping backwards. And don't forget about Sam either in P3. He's only right there in third place, only a few seconds behind, but he's under immense pressure. He's too far away to try and have any sort of battle between these two. So unfortunately for him, he's dropped away from that, and now we're left down to these two. Sasha going for his second win, Lucas going for his first win since last season. I think it was the Hungarian Grand Prix when he scored his last victory in the feature race, or maybe could have been the Spanish Grand Prix as well. They put us for a lap of this race. Do you know what? No safety cars and no VSCs. We barely had any safety cars in this division, which is nice to see. A complete contrast to last season where 2 or 3 safety cars always appeared. But luckily, we barely had any in this division. I think Lucas is just too far away to try and make some sort of inroads on Sasha's first place. I talked about whether Sasha or Lucas should have overtaken Sasha for the lead of the race before the pit stops, because positions like this, he's in a bit of a predicament where it's a bit difficult to overtake in the wet conditions, as it seems right now. Max has left the session and retired too, so he's out of the race, unfortunately. I think Lucas may have blown his chances because he was right there behind Sasha, tucked in behind, ready to pounce at any given moment. But in these conditions, it seems like Sasha just has the edge and a little bit better pace, outright pace towards Lucas there. So Sasha once again just mastering these conditions and controlling the pace really well to keep in front of the man in P2. Another astonishing clinical drive from Sasha again. All he needs to do in these conditions is bring the car home. He knows Lucas is well out of his jurisdiction to try and get after him and overtake him. Sasha is under no pressure. So Lucas once again will have to play second fiddle to Sasha. But at least Lucas there didn't pit too early, otherwise his inters would have been shredded. But Pink Panther and Saltavia, well, their race has completely been wrecked over by the fact it rained at the worst time for them. They started the mini-compound tyres. They had no choice but to pit on the inters, hard, because if they stretched out too long, they could have well got a puncher. But Hatakas and Guy, they're squabbling in Blanchimont. They go. They're well behind now, aren't they? But Guy trying to go on the outside, but Hatakas pretty much covers him off and maintains peace over. But Guy down the inside towards the final corner. Hatakas can't do anything because those mini-compound tyres are useless now. It's like Bambi on ice. He's just struggling for traction, struggling for grip, and literally has no options. Sorry about that. You probably heard me making a noise there. But Hatakas, did he think that the mini-compound tyres would be the case towards the end? Did he think the rain just hold off there, or was it just him forget to change over the inter-mini-compound tyres? Because many people like myself have forgot to change over to the inters when you select it there. Maybe he chose it too late. Maybe Mark just spoke as he was trying to select the inters there, and he had no option, because sometimes you have no option to change over to the inters. And it's that's why you've got to choose your tyre allocation before you make your pit stop. Before you enter the pit lane, make sure you slap it on medium, into, wet, whatever, depending on what the conditions are. That's why it's so crucial. And small things like that can defy your whole race and change everything. I think Jens is a very smart driver indeed, but unfortunately on this occasion made a big mistake, and it has been a blunder for him since those mini-compound tyres. I don't think a battle is going to heat up here between Sasha and Lucas, so I think Sasha has well got it in for the race win. Do you know what? It is the final lap of the Grand Prix. good job I noticed because I forgot about it. So, Sasha, the man that won the Australia Grand Prix to round off a great start to the season, got beaten by Kevin in the second race, but in the third race he strikes back and Sasha makes his way towards the finish line. Sasha once again is a race winner, 2 for 3, 2 out of 3. He has won the Belgian Grand Prix, and Sam Hugeboom is on the podium again. Well done to him. Stefan from P10 to P4. It's a great result for Haas and Cadillac, and Olai rounds off P5. Leonard P6, a great result for both Aston Martins. But Sasha comes out on top ahead of Lucas, and Sam Hugeboom rounds off the podium. Indeed. I will do podium interviews, even though I don't really want to, but, you know, it's all part of the process. And guess what, guys? I didn't lag out. Yippee! That's a step forward. I don't know if you guys know. I think some of you guys know, but Monday was a disaster for me. I kept lagging out. I couldn't join the session back. And, yeah, my first race in PSGL on Monday was a complete cluster F because I kept lagging out. But thankfully, I did not lag out this time. 3 drivers on the podium who are Dutch at the Belgium Grand Prix. I'm pretty sure people in Belgium speak Dutch, French and German, I believe. I think it's the north of Belgium that people speak Dutch. But Sasha, once again, is a race winner. Again, well done to him. His second win out of 3 races. He's really on form so far. Is the young Dutchman for IRT. While Lucas also IRT at P2 as well, so that's a great result for him. But the drivers are in the podium interviews, and we can start the podium interviews. So, P2 to P1, we can't do Sam because Sam is on PC. But, Lucas, congratulations on P2. I know it must be another moment for you because you were right behind Sasha all the way through and right within his wheel track speed. Do you think you should have overtaken him in the dry conditions and then pitted to go onto in speed? Because you left it too late, and unfortunately, in the wet conditions, you just couldn't seem to have the pace to match Sasha.
Well, I tried to, but it was also for me a very hard call to, when to pit onto Inters, and I would rather just stay behind Sasha and see what he would do, and I think that was the right call to, go onto the Inters on the right lap. And then afterwards I was still trying to have a go at him. He gapped me because of Guy just not getting out of the way for some reason. But I managed to get back, and yeah, of course in the wet it's almost impossible to overtake. So yeah, I think in the dry we could have had a tough battle, but yeah, that's what it is.
Just for you to open up the race because it was all nip and tuck there between you guys as well. All fast out for that first and second place. I believe you got pushed down the order on lap 1, but dutifully made your way back to P2. And P2 I think was the max you could get today. So did you enjoy the race?
Yeah, I did. I just hoped we would have finished in the dry because, well, it's just more fun to race in. Qualifying in the wet is of course fun because you can actually push, but in the race I really prefer just the dry because, well, you can actually battle. So
indeed then. So I don't really have any more questions to ask you, but for the next race, how do you feel? We're moving on to the summer event. Is that a race?
It's just, a race every Friday, just an event. But I won't be here for the next 3 weeks, so...
Oh, where are you going?
To Portugal.
Oh, mate, have a good time. Hopefully you enjoy the nice weather there in Portugal.
Thank you.
You're welcome then. So you won't be there for Madrid, Netherlands or Saudi Arabia?
No, I will, but the real calendar starts in just over a month. But the next 4 weeks will be event races, but we still have to look what exactly will be the summer event.
Yeah, I can see there's a massive gap in the calendar, so yeah, from July to August. So yeah, if I don't speak to you, have a good time in Portugal, mate.
Thank you.
Moving on to the race winner, Sasha, you have won 2 out of 3 races. How are you so good at managing intense pressure from behind you? Because you constantly swap places with Sam Hugerboom, Octavia and Lucas, but you still somehow managed to come out top. And you defended beautifully as well without using too much battery down the straight, because even though you're under massive pressure down that camel straight, the guys behind you use a boost, but you somehow still managed to save some battery and somehow still defended for the guys behind. So how are you so manageable in terms of defending and saving battery, mate?
Well, I don't know. It's just natural. I mean, if you see someone coming with overspeed, yeah, you just use ERS, and when it looks like he is staying behind, you just put the ERS on none, and you just go spare. And yeah, a lot of lift and coast into the corners. I mean, no one can pass you really in the corners, of course, so you can easily just lift and coast there. There's no chance of driving away. You can just take it easy, load up battery, because battery is key. I think that is the key to success on this game.
And when you pitted onto the Innsbruck Partei, did you think that Lucas would be a threat towards the end? Did you think you might be under pressure there?
No, not really, because I knew that when you on the inters that it was gonna get wetter and wetter. You know that's the time that the game puts out the ERS, that it goes manual. So I just only have medium ERS mode, and you just can't overtake with that, so I wasn't really worried. The only thing I really was worried about is that it wasn't gonna get wetter and that I was the only one who's going on inters, but luckily it didn't end up like that.
Well, just want to say congratulations on driving a clinical race. You didn't dominate, but you led most laps and you were under massive pressure for the whole of it, and you still finished in P1 despite all that pressure from behind. So, gefeliciteerd, mate, on finishing in P1 today. Well done. Goed gedaan.
Dankjewel, vriend.
Geen probleem. That is it then for the podium interviews. Unfortunately, Milan could not be with us because he was doing some JSR things. So, unfortunately, we could not have a good race together before the summer break. But next week, as Lucas said, it is the event week, and it's going to be just some fun races, nothing serious because it's not part of the championship. So I might be there to commentate, might not be. But hopefully you all enjoy the summer break and enjoy the Hungarian Grand Prix as well this weekend. Let's see if it's a good one. I know Mercedes are struggling a little bit, or maybe they're just sandbagging, but who knows. Ferrari do look very strong, and will they continue that in the qualifying and the race session? Will go along before the summer break as well. So, yeah, the race is coming to an end before the summer break, but hopefully one last go at the Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll see you all later. Goodbye for now. Take care and have a good weekend. And I'll be in France next week, so hopefully I can enjoy